Imagine a train, abandoned and forgotten, suddenly roaring back to life. Empty, alone, traveling through the night shrouded in mystery. This isn't a horror movie, but it feels like one. This is a real mystery that happened in Norway, and it still sends chills down the spines of those who know the story. Deep in the heart of Norway, nestled among towering mountains and icy lakes, lies a railway line shrouded in mystery. It was here, in the dead of night, that an abandoned train seemingly defied the laws of physics. Locals whispered of a ghostly presence, a force unseen, propelling the train through the darkness. The incident sent shockwaves through the small communities dotting the Norwegian wilderness. People were both terrified and captivated. How could a train, untouched by human hands, embark on a journey of its own? The abandoned train, a relic of a bygone era, stood silent and still for years. It was as if time itself had forgotten this once mighty machine, now reduced to a mere shadow of its former glory. It was a forgotten monument to Norway's industrial past. The train had seen better days, transporting goods and passengers across the country. But now it was just a ghost of history. Then one cold night it sprang to life. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the sudden, unexpected sound of the train's engine roaring back to life. Witnesses described hearing the deafening screech of metal on metal as the train lurched forward. The sound was so loud, it echoed through the nearby valleys, waking up the entire town. It picked up speed, its ghostly whistle echoing through the valleys, a haunting melody that sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it, before vanishing into the night. The authorities were baffled. They had no idea how a train that had been stationary for decades could suddenly come to life and disappear without a trace. There was no logical explanation for how the train could have moved, let alone traveled such a distance. The officials were left scratching their heads, trying to piece together the mystery. The tracks were old and rusted, barely able to support any weight, much less a full train. They were overgrown with weeds and had not been maintained for years. The tracks were old and rusted, the engine long since drained of its power. The entire railway line was a relic of the past, forgotten and neglected. The engine long since drained of its power. It was a mystery how the train could have moved at all, let alone with such speed and force. And yet the train had moved. It was as if some unseen force had taken control, guiding it through the night. The mystery of the moving train remains unsolved to this day, a haunting reminder of the unexplained. Echoes of the past. The abandoned train was more than just a collection of steel and wood. It held the stories of countless lives. Each rusted bolt and weathered plank whispered tales of a bygone era, where the train was the lifeline of the community. It was a symbol of progress, hope, and connection, bridging the gap between isolated villages and bustling towns. The train station, now overgrown with vegetation, once echoed with the laughter of children and the farewells of loved ones. It was a place where dreams were both born and shattered, where Rural Norway, stories of the supernatural were not easily dismissed. These tales were woven into the very fabric of their culture, passed down through generations as both cautionary tales and sources of wonder. The old houses, with their creaking floors and drafty windows, seemed to hold secrets of their own. Community gatherings often included the sharing line between the living and the dead was thin, and the echoes of the past were always present. Whispers of the supernatural. As news of the ghost train spread, theories began to surface. The small Norwegian village, usually quiet and serene, was suddenly buzzing with speculation and fear. The locals who had lived their entire lives in the shadow of the mountains were now faced with a mystery that seemed to defy all logic and reason. Some pointed to electromagnetic anomalies in the region, suggesting that a surge of energy could have triggered the train's movement. Scientists and skeptics alike proposed that the unique geological formations in the area might have created a perfect storm of electrical activity, causing the train to come to life in the dead of night. They argued that such phenomena, while rare, were not entirely unheard of in regions with high mineral content and frequent storms. Others clung to older, more traditional beliefs. The village had a rich history of folklore and legends, passed down through generations. These stories, often told by the fireside on cold winter nights, spoke of spirits and otherworldly beings that roamed the land. The ghost train, they believed, was just another chapter in their long history of supernatural occurrences. They spoke of the Draugen, a mythical Norwegian ghost known to haunt the seas, and wondered if a similar entity could be responsible for the train's ghostly journey. The Draugen, often described as a revenant of a drowned mariner, was said to appear as a headless fisherman, rowing a half-boat and bringing death to those who encountered it. Could it be that such a spirit had found a new vessel in the form of the train? One particularly chilling account came from an elderly woman who lived near the tracks. She had spent her entire life in the village and was well versed in its legends and lore. On the night of the incident, she was awoken by an eerie, otherworldly sound that seemed to resonate through the very walls of her home. She claimed that on the night of the incident she saw a spectral figure standing at the helm of the train. The figure was unlike anything she had ever seen before, shrouded in a mist that seemed to glow with an unnatural light. It stood motionless, as if waiting for something or someone, its presence both terrifying and mesmerizing. It was a tall, shadowy figure, its eyes burning with an eerie white light. The eyes seemed to pierce through the darkness, casting an unholy glow on everything they touched. The woman could feel the weight of its gaze, a cold, unyielding presence that sent shivers down her spine. She knew in that moment that she was witnessing something beyond the realm of the living, a glimpse into a world where the supernatural reigns supreme. The mystery endures. Despite numerous investigations and countless theories, the mystery of the abandoned train in Norway remains unsolved. Was it a peculiar mechanical failure, an unexplainable natural phenomenon, or something altogether more sinister? The evidence is inconclusive, leaving the door open to speculation and wonder. The incident serves as a chilling reminder that there are still mysteries in this world that defy logic and explanation. It challenges our understanding of the physical world and forces us to confront the possibility that there are forces beyond our comprehension. Join the investigation. What do you believe happened that night in the Norwegian mountains? Was it a scientific anomaly or something more sinister? Share your thoughts and theories. The mystery of the ghost train is far from over, and your insights might just hold the key to unlocking the truth. And if this story has piqued your interest in the unexplained, be sure to check out our other investigations into the paranormal and the unknown. The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered.